So I guess what I'm going to talk about now is the reconstruction from domestic situations, and you never know who is going through that internal battle of domestic violence. So complicated, My narcissistic abuse started when I was growing up in my household. So it took me a long time to be ready to let go of what was killing me. I had to go back into that situation in order to get my children back. I'm sure people have heard that what we do is some mothers have reached out to me about the other side of the domestic abuse. And I know everybody isn't like me, and I know everybody's story isn't like mine, but my story is my story, and it's real. You can't make up my story. And for years and years and years, whenever you live behind this delusional reality, it's so hard to break your psychological mindset. If you truly break free from that psychological insanity, I decided at that point that what I want to do with the rest of my life is help other people to know the truth. Use my voice. And I could be rare because sometimes people don't want to talk about it. Sometimes people don't want to continue to carry the message of abuse and narcissism and stuff like that. So, I could be different than other people. So, I don't know. But however, I do like to carry this message. I do like to get real honest about psychological trauma. But here, let me tell you something else. There's something about us people that have experienced these things. There's something about us that makes us strong, smart, intelligent, because we've thought on a level of survival for so long. And I'm psychologically gifted at this point. I developed complex PTSD. I developed these things, and a psychological sensitivity, an ability to know if somebody truly has my best interest at heart, an emotional strength. That's part of having complex PTSD. That's part of what I developed through my trauma, a lifelong situation of trauma. A lifelong cycle of abuse. It's rough. It is rough, but those things cannot count me out from life. I decided one day that I let people and your opinions of me and stuff like that count me out from life for too long, and I'm not going to do that anymore. So I started going to school, and I started changing my life. I started letting go of things that were holding me back and that were hurting me, continuing to try to have some sort of power and control and abuse over me. Just one little step at a time, but you got to take the first step or you're never going to get to where you're going. So just always know that you have to take the first step or you're never going to get to where you're going. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for transition. I'm grateful for faith that seen me through my obstacles. I'm grateful for faith that said I can when they say I can't. I'm grateful for strength that says I can when they say I can't. So I'm just, we're in a learning life learning lesson. Y'all don't pay no attention to my hair. I'm sure some people's heard the story about my hair. I cut my hair because past trauma experiences said, Heaven, you can't cut your hair, you can't get a divorce. And I said, who can't? And I cut it off. And it's liberating. I've shared my story about going back and people saying I can't preach, I can't do this, I can't do that. My mother looking at me and telling me that my children were going to hate me, for why? What reason are they going to hate me? When in reality, it would be her, that ended up hating me because I came with Jesus, and Jesus is the truth, the way and the light. I came in the name of the Lord, to carry a message to help other people like me, my children. So I just keep posting my videos and trusting in God and knowing that He's with me. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to be afraid to speak out and share my truths. It's my truth. So if anybody's dealing with some narcissistic battles, if anybody's dealing with anything, that's hard for them to talk about, my name is Heaven Sutton. Choices, Chances, and Change. I am a alcoholic in ministry and recovery and everything that you can be. I claim all these gifts because they're gifts from God. I'm in school. I'm opening doors and windows for me as a woman, as a single mother, as everything that I can possibly do and be in this life. So I'm just grateful for that transition and change, and I'm grateful for believing in myself when other people maybe didn't, maybe kept planned to keep me below them and not help me to free myself. I don't know all the answers to everything, but I'm learning, every day. The more that I put my faith in Jesus, the more that I put my faith in my higher power, the more that I continue to persevere on this path, I continue to learn what it's like to be a normal person, I heard a song the other day. It said, "Please forgive me. I'm just learning to be human." That's powerful. That's powerful. So I hope everybody has a blessed day. I hope somebody heard something they needed to hear in this message. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, or don't let your fear hold you back, because we're always going to have some sort of fear, but don't let it hold you back.